Hey citizens, my name is Black and welcome to CasaBlack's Highlights of the Week, a weekly series where I go over the juiciest bits from the prior week in Star Citizen, whether that be official news, hot rumors, or even just some community fun. Let's get going. This week we got a good reason to subscribe because the Aztalan armor set was revealed to be the June subscriber Flair. I'm a huge fan of this armor, even in its original earthy tones, but I did spring for the $20 subscription so I could also get the orange set to match up with my mole. There is a gray set which I have not seen up close yet, but if I like it I'll probably pick that one up as well. Subscribers were displeased to learn that the option for the helmets to allow you to breathe out in space was not active, which I'm sure is just an oversight where someone forgot to click a switch in the option, so hopefully this is fixed within the next patch. The ship of the month is a Carrack, which is awesome and a ship I do not currently own, so I'll be taking this thing out and seeing if it's something I want to work towards. This week there was a nice leaked ship, the Argo Raft, courtesy of Star Citizen Links. Link to the video is in the description below. There were not any great visuals or models leaked, but what can be discerned is that the ship is definitely industrial by nature, and from there the speculation just runs rampant. Some of the cooler things I heard discussed were that it could be a ship used to refine or separate different ores to get ready for cargo haulers. I could see that and would definitely dig a ship that increases the usefulness of mining. There's no clue when this will be released, and all I can do is sit in my mole and pray to the ship gods that this is something that comes sooner rather than later. This week on Inside Star Citizen, vehicle system designer Mark Gibson discussed how he and the team got the minor task of the Bengal ready for Invictus. This daunting task involved going in and fixing or redoing old legacy ship issues to make light of those things the designers have learned and made better the past couple of years. This included items such as creating the multiple thrusters instead of a single large thruster. They also had to go in and place weapons because the ship was also supposed to be able to perform actual combat during these flybys. There are over 90 turrets alone that had to be placed. After the small, minor, insignificant tasks of weapons relocation and distribution around the ship, the team set out to try to make the Bengal fly and also for it to be optimized because the old iteration of the Bengal was a server stopper. How did the vehicles team overcome this barrier? They worked with and created the AI turret module using AI instead of actual visual NPCs controlling the turrets, which gave the Bengal a huge performance boost. Want a challenge? How about trying to get a missile to actually hit the Bengal? As Mark Gibson states here, it's not easy.
And that's probably spent a good half an hour just trying to actually hit it with a missile.
Wow, I can't wait for this to be more than just a flyby ship. Even if it gets added to an event, it will be awesome to fight alongside this, or to use my alter Evil pirate account to try and take one out. Mark and his team deserve a standing 07 salute for their hard work and game-changing dedication. Good job, guys. Moving on, Inside Star Citizen also gave us a sprint report. Starting things off with a new version of their building blocks tech, they briefly showed off how the UI team is able to easily swap out transit signs with different themes by color and style, so all those terminals won't quite look the same. Hopefully this will also carry over to the space station, so when I die and wake up on one, I don't feel like I'm sundowning by my disorientation and confusion. That blue one though. Someone on Reddit matched these up to what planets they thought they belonged to, and I have to say this little touch will be very nice and add to the experience. Next up was a brief update on the character's team's Grey Cat armor. I gotta say, even though it's mining armor, I am digging the aesthetic. Even if it reminds me of Ivan Vanko's drone headpiece from Iron Man 2. Drone better. Regardless, this suit is definitely giving me some Iron Man or War Machine vibes, and this is the content I'm here for. This dude's smiling though. Since they showed off some color variants, I'm guessing this might be July or August subscriber flare, and of course, I'm gonna want that yellow, so guess it's another month where I fork over $20. Say guys, is there any chance we can get a spelunking functionality with this armor? That would be great. Alright, so the next thing they went over on Inside Star Citizen were the props team's work on the different models and chips which will be utilized in the upcoming hacking gameplay, still scheduled for Alpha 3.15. Keep in mind that these are just the visual representations of what hacking will be and not the system itself. Props and finalizing the look is usually a later in life development step, and since these are smaller and less work intensive than, say, creating ship UI or interiors, I think it's safe to say that these can easily be completed on time for a 3.15 launch. Of course, always keep your expectations in check, and after looking at these designs, it will be hard not to be let down if it gets pushed back to 3.16. Speculation did run wild on Reddit, as it does, and excitement was definitely palpable as this image brought on a wonderful conversation about how this reminded players of other hacking in games such as Deus Ex. Some pointed out that it appears there could be a PvE or PvP element in this where there could be a race against a player or AI to get something hacked. I have to say, if this system allows for both, it will add a nice layer and give some who might not be the best dogfighters, like me, out there something else to compete on. My wife in particular is very good at puzzle gameplays, and this might be something she really gets into. Moving on, the Aegis Redeemer was mentioned with the interior gray box progress being shown off on the manned turret, remote turret bay, and HAB module. In other ship news, the devs also began looking at the interactive dash controls for the constellations. The Ares Starfighter, currently in its white box phase, is still scheduled for Alpha 3.15 and looking good. I for one am looking forward to this ship because I enjoy the handling of the Star Runner and the Hercules Starlifter, and so this might be the first Crusader ship that I actually own. Speaking of Crusader, this next ship, albeit not a player-flown ship, is pretty sweet looking. It is the shuttle that will transport players to and from the different Orison platforms. Good old Huckabee shut down any wants or desires, but did manage to stoke the flames of desire by needling the players to ask John Crew for one anyway. Did this disregard for ship plans work its way onto Reddit? Stick around for our Reddit roundup to find out. Alright, so shuttling on, we got more glimpses of Orison at night by the lighting team, who was obviously and deservedly proud of their work on some of these stellar shots. I could swear a couple of these were just art previs shots and not actual screenshots. So damn good job lighting, guys. On this week's Star Citizens Live, Jared sat down with Pedro Camacho, the composer for Star Citizens music. If you did not love Pedro's scores, then you're in the minority, because everyone I've talked to, and even in the comments I read, say how beautiful and fitting his music is to the verse. I am a lover of great music soundtracks. I have listened to about 90% of the podcast, the soundtrack show, staple of great episodes, and I have to say that Pedro's work stands out, even within a great genre of video game music. His interviews here showed a very humbled and shy man with some great stories about his inspiration. Amiga, anyone? It was also very lovely to hear his memories of getting to play games with his dad. If you've not checked out this week's episode, I highly recommend you do so. Reddit is a crazy place, but sometimes you get some nice bits of useful info, such as this PSA for mining those dead rocks that are unscannable. This user states that they were able to take their mole past the node and then come back to it, and were then able to scan and mine it. Another user pointed out in that same post that this only worked on planets, so regardless, it's a solid mining tip and could also help the devs find a solution. But something tells me it might be related to desync, which will have to wait for the more permanent fixes coming later. Regardless, very nice PSA. In other news of citizens helping citizens, another awesome citizen has put out a new version of their Slim Refinery Calculator Google Sheet with updates for 3.13.1. Much to the joy of those miners who were on their A game, and not like me who was still trying to figure out which Quantanium rock to actually stop for and mine. Hack the world! With the Inside Star Citizen reveal of the hacking visuals, in particular the screenshot of the UI, Reddit users had a field day with guesses and comparisons to other games with varying expectations for what they wanted or thought would come to fruition. My expectations for hacking were low, but that's probably because I never played games with hacking before, so I will defer to those who know and only say that I am now excited for what may lie ahead. And finally, we got to see more John Crew torture as Redditors took up Jared Huckabee's call to beg for the new Crusader shuttle that is to be an AI-only ship. This man's Twitter feed was bombarded with calls for this ship to be released as a flyable, purchasable ship from players, and many memes were made. All kidding aside, the ship does look pretty sweet, and my own little ask would be to also include a glass bottom to really give tourists and travelers that touristy feel. Just do it, Mr. Crew, sir. Please. I'll have my kids name their firstborn Crew just for you if you do this. Or perhaps maybe just my next dog. Anyway, citizens, that will do it for this inaugural Highlights of the Week video. So what did you think? I came up with this idea on Friday afternoon and spent the weekend setting it up. If it feels rushed, well, that's because it was, but I promise to make it better with better visuals and hopefully with more streamlining. Also, what did you think about the armor? Did it pull you into subbing? Were you blown away by the bangle footage or the hacking UI? Did you jump on the Crew bandwagon and help drum up support to one day own the Crusader trolley? Let me know below, and also join my Discord. It's a lonely place right now where I would like to get some conversations going, and also a place to share what you would like to see in the next highlighted video. That's all for now. Stay positive, citizens, and we'll see you next time.